second of our videos on elasticity. This one focuses on income elasticity of demand, so a very similar idea to price elasticity. We know that income does have an impact on demand, but how much of an impact is the question that we really want to answer. So income elasticity of demand can do that for us. It measures the responsiveness of demand to a change in income, and we calculate it a very similar way to PED. Here we just got percentage change in demand divided by the percentage change in income, and you again may well be given numbers to actually work this out for yourself. So here's some data. Income goes up and we can see the impact on demand, but just be aware of the plus or minus signs. In this case, it's not like PED where we're sort of less concerned about the sign. Here the sign actually does give us important information. So just to sort of illustrate it, the income rises from 1,000 to 1,200. We can see an increase in demand from 100 to 150. So if we're going to work this out, I'll try and write it on the screen here. The percentage change in demand, which is what we're interested in at the top. So the demand has changed by 50, divided by the original demand, which was 100, and as a percentage change, we multiply that by 100 to get the overall effect. And all of that is then divided by the percentage change in income. So income has changed by 200. So I can write that neatly. Divided by the original income, which was 1,000. And then multiplied by 100. Okay, so you can work that out either with the calculator or you can work it out, just work it through. The answer is 2.5. It's a plus sign, movements in the same direction. Remember, higher level students, if you are answering a question like this on paper 3, make sure you put down all the work in. All right, so if it's a 2-mark question, often it will be, then if you don't put the working down, you just put the answer as 2.5, you'll only get 1 mark of the 2. Like, you need to show the actual working in order to get your full marks, right? So as I said, the plus or minus sign tells us something, and what it tells us, the values of elasticity. So if YED, well, by the way, we use the abbreviation Y for income, and you'll see it much more in macroeconomics as well. But the reason, I think, is probably that investment is given the abbreviation I. So Y has been chosen for income. But anyway, if YD is greater than 0, the good is said to be either it's a normal good. It's often a necessity, particularly if it's just between 0 and 1. Calculation we did, the answer was 2.5. So it's a bigger number for YED. The good is still normal. Right? Normal good is defined as being if your income goes up, the demand goes up. That's the definition of a normal good. So here, not only is the good normal, but we also might regard it as being sort of income elastic, like a luxury or even a service type product. So we buy a lot more of it when our income goes up. For every 1% increase in income, there was a 2.5% increase in the demand. Right? And then if the YED is less than 0, so it's minus, the good is inferior. Right? So here, if your income goes up, you buy less of it. And that's why we need to know the sign. Is it a plus sign or is it a minus sign? Because it can tell us that. Definition of an inferior good is one that where your income goes up, the demand will go down. You can show it on, with your shifts in demand, because we know changes in income will shift our demand curve. So if we're starting here at D1, and our income goes up and the good is just a normal product, a necessity, the demand will shift by an amount. But if it's much greater than 1, like it's normal, but it's also a sort of luxury type product, much more elastic, income elastic product, the demand curve will shift much more. So if it's to D3, if it's an inelastic good, it shifts to D4 if it's an income elastic good. And if it's inferior, it just goes down from D1 to D2. We've also come across the Engels sort of relationship, and Engels mentions the responsiveness of shows you elasticity. So here's the demand along the bottom, here's your income. This is not one Engel curve, by the way. This is like 4 different alternative Engel curves that you might get. They've all been connected. But don't get confused by that. So look, here's one Engels curve, a situation where the good is income elastic, it's responsive. So a small change in income has a big change in quantity that you demand. That would be one such curve. Or you might find an Engels curve that's a little bit steeper. So that relationship tells us that it's still a positive relationship. If your income goes up, you buy more of it, but not a huge amount more. It's just a necessity. So that's that one there. This third one in yellow is where there's no relationship at all. Your income goes up, demand doesn't change at all. And then you might have a sort of fourth situation for our inferior goods, where if your income goes up, the demand actually falls. Right? So there's 4 different potential shapes of this so-called Engel curve showing the relationship. For higher level students, they need to know a little bit more about YED in 2 respects. One is the importance of YED for firms. So it helps them to predict sales over time. Stores like the Dollar Store, Dollarama, they do everything for £1 type stores, do very well in recessions. So they can make predictions given the state of the economy or where the economy is heading over the next few months as to what their sales are likely to be. And other firms that are more sort of luxury type products will also be impacted. And it's important for their planning to know what is going to happen to demand over the next few months. That's one thing. And then the second thing is the importance of YED in terms of the sectoral structure of the economy. So as economies get richer, there tends to be, and their incomes go up, there tends to be this shift away from the primary sector into sort of secondary, tertiary, and quaternary sort of sectors of the economy as economies develop and economies get richer. It's a generalization, but just tends to be the way that things have gone.